Alright, Watch Geeks, it's time for a wrist check. Up first, the stunning new beautiful S1 Touring Edition from Invicta. Hang tight.
Alright, Watch Geeks, we got a new feature we're going to try out here. It's called Wrist Check. We're going to be doing some video reviews of different watches. In this particular case, it's the new Invicta S1 Touring Edition. This one hasn't been seen yet, except for Jim's sneak peek photographs that he's done here recently. I got a chance to talk to A.L. Lalo at Invicta and gave him the idea of what we were trying to do, and he was kind enough to get on board with us and send this watch over. So that's what we're going to do. Leave some feedback, let me know what you guys think of this, and we'll go from there. So the first thing we need to look at, obviously, again, this hasn't been released yet. It may be coming up in the shows that are on later tonight. I'm not sure when that's going to come up, or it may be the next rotation. Obviously, one of the important things to pick up on this watch is it is Swiss made, and you can see the designation on the dial at the 6 o'clock position here with my fancy black pointer that I'm using. You can see the Swiss made on there. The first thing that's really going to jump out at you on this watch, if you're not familiar with the S1, obviously is the dial area. In this particular case, you're looking at a 3-tiered or a 3-level dial. That's really kind of cool. So the first level is this back portion of the dial here that you see going all the way around. The next level is your chronograph registers here, which are one raised level up. And then sitting atop that, the next level up is your hour indications, marking that. So one of the things that's interesting to note on this, and this is where the extra cost comes into play, when you've got a multi-tiered dial like this, the center pinion, or center wheel pinion, that's located here has to be elevated even higher than what it normally is, because now it's got to be able to provide clearance once the hands are put on to allow it to get over not only the dial, but the second level with the registers for the chronograph, and the third level, which is your hour markers. So there is some extended cost involved there as well. The next thing to take a look at is, in keeping with the automotive theme of this particular watch, you do have a tachometer going around the outside portion of the bezel. There's several posts on watchgeeks.net where you can, if you're not familiar with a tachometer or how to use it, that will explain that to you. Basically, it's used for measuring speed over a given distance. We're not going to get into it here, but you've got that feature and functionality that goes with the automotive theme of this watch, which we'll get into a little bit more. On the dial, too, take a notice that you've got two different materials that are making up the dial. So the outer portions of the dial, like for instance here and going around this way, outside of this circle that you'll see here is a sunray finish. However, when you get into the inner portion of the dial, it is a black carbon fiber with the hands being done in red on the chronograph registers. I particularly like this watch because, as everybody knows, if you've been on Watch Geeks long enough, you know I like the bigger and the heavier watches, and this one really does that. But what's really neat is you don't very often see a tonneau style case, which this is. I don't know if I can get this turned up and back at a distance good enough for you. We don't have professional level studios here. But as you can see, it is a tonneau style case, but it's really a good size case. So as I get this back down so we can get a good shot in here of it. And in this particular case, when you're looking at it, when you're measuring the length, so say from case edge to case edge lengthwise, you're looking at 48 millimeters. If you use your digital calipers and you're measuring 7 to 2, for instance, this way where I've got the pointer being held, is also 48 millimeters. And if you measure it from the 9 o'clock position to the 3 o'clock position, including the crown, it is also 48 millimeters. So you've got a good size watch. Now, as far as weight goes, this one comes in unsized at 351 grams. So you've got a nice heavy watch if you happen to be like me and you like that. Now, in comparison, for those of you that already own the strap version like I do, I have the stainless and rose gold on the brown strap. That weighs in at 181 grams. So you've got quite a bit of difference between those. And the bracelet accounts for a lot of that, as well as the massive end links that are on this. And we'll get into that in just a minute. And finishing up with the case, you've obviously got a sapphire crystal on here, so we can do our little scratch test with our pointer here, and obviously nothing's happening to it. Powered within there, you can probably tell, or maybe tell, some of you from the layout of the chronograph registers. This is a Swiss ETA G10.211 quartz chronograph movement, so you've obviously got a real workhorse in there. This watch is 10 ATMs or 100 meters or 330 feet in water resistance, so you don't have to worry about too much about getting it wet during your normal activities. And this is really nice too. If I can flip this over and kind of give you guys a look here at this, as you can see, and I don't know how good the focus is going to be, but it does have the square chronograph pushers. I wanted you to notice that, and they are decorated in keeping in line with that, and you can also see the decorated crown. But the reason I bring that up is because I don't know if a lot of you are really aware of the fact that the square pushers really does make it much more difficult to really get any level of water resistance. So that's just another thing that's being built into that. The bracelet is the next thing. Let's go ahead and see if I can't turn this sideways a little bit and bring this in so you can get an idea on the bracelet. And of course, you get the reflection, because obviously you can see this is a high polished stainless steel 316L, obviously, that's on here. It is a one-piece bracelet. It is not a multi-link, and it is a supported link, meaning, as you probably saw when I sat this up a minute ago, and I'll show you again, it does not lay down. It does have a solid feel to it, or kind of locks it in place. Now, the nice thing is, because of these monster end links that you've got on here, it really does drape very well off the wrist. So even if you've got a bit of a smaller wrist, I wouldn't go too small with this one. But even a smaller one, you're going to be in good shape. It does cradle the wrist very nicely and drape off of there, and you're not going to get a lot of movement. It does come with half links, so you can take out a full link that you're going to see here. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit so you can get an idea. This one, if you'll notice the size here, is a full link that you can remove. Everything from that point down on the clasp is a half link. It does use friction pins and not screws. And actually, on this type of bracelet, I know a lot of folks like screws, but in this case, I think the friction pins are going to work much better. It is a dual deployant butterfly style clasp, so if I open that up without trying to get too much glare, you can obviously see how that links together, so you get that solid piece. It is a 26 millimeter wide bracelet, so and it is non-tapering, meaning it's 26 millimeters here and it's 26 millimeters down the clasp, so it doesn't have any particular tapering to it. Last thing that we might want to hit on this, the hands are done in a trittonite luminous material, so you will get a little bit of luminosity to it if that's an important thing for you, or you need to read it at night. However, you know, I am going to say this is kind of a sporty watch, so the big thing is not going to be how much you're using this watch at night. I'll try to get an update for you guys as to when it's actually going to show up. It is going to be offered in 3 different models. The one you've got here in the all stainless steel with the black, meaning black sunray and black carbon fiber dial. There will be an all high polished gold version that has a blue, meaning the blue sunray and the blue carbon fiber. And lastly, another version that is all done in silver tone stainless steel with the silver and silver dials, silver sunray, silver carbon fiber. And again, I'll try to find out when these are going to be available, but that's the wrist check for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave some feedback and let us know what you think.